I wish I could tell you what words would work. I think it is clear that appealing to the state powers that be, the United States in particular, most of the European nations, the state of Israel goes without saying, does not help us. They do not receive our words. They accuse us of being murderous when we call for peace. They accuse us of terrorism when we ask for a ceasefire. They accuse us of anti-Semitism when we call for a life that could be lived without violence. So we are trapped in this way if we are speaking to them. So I think that means that we speak to one another and that we try to lift each other as we can. Because even though life is being annihilated every day in Gaza, we all have an obligation to oppose that killing, and to do that, we must regenerate ourselves and each other. I believe no one can regenerate oneself alone. We depend on others to renew our lives and our sense of being alive and alive enough to continue to fight for justice, to fight for freedom. That can only work if we have solidarity and if we are open to the words of others. So we need our poets who have very often become speechless as well. We need whatever words are possible, whatever images are possible, even though we know that the images can be reappropriated by the Israeli state, its media, its hasbara, its propaganda. We know, but we must be able to demonstrate what we know. And we have to use whatever medium is ours. It could be words, it could be images, it could be sounds. Some sensuous medium that gives us a way to establish the reality that we know and to level our objection in the deepest possible terms with the most powerful image, the most powerful voice. I don't know what to tell you, but I thank you for reaching out to me and for considering me an ally.
Thank you.
That honors me. I think we can say this. The young people keep flooding the streets. They flood the streets in London. They flood the streets in San Francisco and New York. This afternoon, they are protesting in front of the Assemblée Nationale. On Saturday, we meet at La République. They keep showing up. They keep having their seminars online. All of us do, no matter what age. We keep speaking. We keep telling the history of Gaza. We keep reporting on what is happening there, on how people are struggling, how they are dying. We are doing what we can to combat the forces of disavowal. And it is shocking. It is beyond shocking. It is numbing. You know, at a certain point, you're shocked and then you're numbed and then you're shocked again to see how people do turn away, and they have these rationales by which they turn away from the carnage, the slaughter, the genocide. They have words that they use to turn away. They say, oh, justified force, or reasonable force, or self-defense for the Israeli state, or the Palestinian people brought it on themselves. They elected Hamas. All of this. These are words that they use to blind themselves, to turn away so they don't have to see the horror. And sometimes they reverse the horror, and whatever act of violence a Palestinian has committed becomes a symbol for all Palestinian life, or who Palestinian people are. And then that, of course, justifies them again for their slaughter. So there's all this twisting, all this shielding through false rationale and empty justifications. But it is genocide. It is genocide. It fits the definition of genocide as it is stipulated in the Genocide Convention. And people can say, oh, it's complicated. Oh, not so easy. What is that? What is that hesitation, qualification? We need our lawyers. we need our political speakers. We need our poets and our artists and our young activists who throw themselves into this. We need all those who care for those who are suffering, who are still alive, to care for those who are suffering. We need expanding circles of solidarity in every walk of life. There is no walk of life that does not have something to offer, whether it's medical or journalistic or legal or educative or artistic. Everybody has something to do. The only question in my mind is how we can keep going when we are also losing our words and our capacity to express ourselves, when we are so wrecked with grief and horror that we don't know whether communication is even possible. And sometimes, I will tell you, I think sometimes people just have to allow themselves to lapse into that speechlessness. Find it. It is true. Allow that and stay with it. Know it as a sign of your responsiveness to the radical injustice, the radical injustice of this systematic killing. And then pass through, not all by yourself, but with others who can maybe lend a voice when you cannot, help you find yours, or just listen as you speak in broken sentences.